During World War II, the German army used many different vehicles, from Panther and Tiger tanks to fast scout cars and half-tracks. This video will explain all the important vehicles they used in battle. Let's start with their main battle tanks, the Panzers. Panzer I, originally designed as a training vehicle, the tiny Panzer I was pressed into combat service during the invasions of Poland and France. Armed only with 2 machine guns and boasting paper-thin armor, it relied entirely on speed and numbers. Panzer II, a stopgap measure that became the backbone of the early Blitzkrieg, featured a 20mm autocannon effective against light vehicles and infantry. Though outclassed later in the war, its chassis proved invaluable for self-propelled guns. Panzer 35T, seized after the annexation of Czechoslovakia, was a Czech-built tank known for its high-quality construction and pneumatic transmission. It served distinctly in the early campaigns, identifiable by the gap behind its bogie wheels. Panzer 38T, considered one of the best light tanks of the early war, was a Czech-designed vehicle that was reliable and packed a punch with its 37mm gun. Its robust chassis later became the foundation for the famous Hetzer tank destroyer. Panzer III was designed as Germany's primary tank fighter. The Panzer III utilized a 3-man turret for superior tactical efficiency. While its gun eventually struggled against Soviet armor, it set the standard for medium tank crew layouts. Panzer IV, the true workhorse of the Wehrmacht, was the only German tank to remain in production throughout the entire war. Upgraded and up-armored repeatedly, it served on every front, including Russia. Panther, built in response to the Soviet T-34, combined sloped armor, mobility, and a high-velocity 75mm gun. Despite early mechanical teething issues, it is widely regarded as one of the best medium tanks of World War II. Panzer VI Tiger I, a legend of heavy armor, struck fear into Allied crews with its thick, boxy protection and lethal 88mm gun. Though slow and maintenance-heavy, it could dominate the battlefield from long range. Panzer VI Tiger II, or King Tiger, was a massive 70-ton beast, combining the thick armor of a heavy tank with the sloped design of the Panther. While nearly impervious to enemy fire from the front, its weight destroyed bridges and strained its engine. Next on the list are tank destroyers and assault guns. Stugee III, created by removing the turret from the Panzer III chassis, became the most produced German armored vehicle of the war, excelling as an ambush predator. Jagdpanzer 38T Hetzer, small, angular, and difficult to spot, was a cost-effective tank destroyer built on the reliable Czech 38T chassis. Its sloped armor and remote-controlled machine gun made it a nasty surprise for advancing Allied troops. Jagdpanzer IV, known as Guderian's Duck due to its nose-heavy wobble, carried the powerful long-barreled 75mm gun. It was a deadly defensive weapon capable of engaging enemy tanks while remaining hidden. Marder II, created by mounting a heavy anti-tank gun onto an obsolete Panzer II chassis, was an open-top stopgap solution providing desperate firepower against tougher Soviet armor. Marder III, utilizing the Czech 38T chassis, mounted captured Soviet guns or German Pak-40s to fight on the Eastern Front. While its crew was exposed, its gun could knock out most Allied tanks. Nashorn, named the Rhinoceros, mounted a long 88mm gun on a light chassis. It had almost no armor, relying entirely on sniping enemy tanks from extreme distances. Jagdpanther, often cited as the best tank destroyer of the war, married the excellent Panther chassis with the lethal 88mm gun, offering a perfect balance of speed, armor, and firepower. Ferdinand, Elephant, built on rejected Porsche Tiger hulls, was a sluggish, heavily armored bunker buster with a petrol-electric drive. Nearly indestructible from the front, it initially lacked a machine gun for infantry defense. Jagdtiger, the heaviest armored fighting vehicle to see operational service, carried a massive 128mm gun capable of destro. Next are self-propelled artillery and anti-aircraft vehicles. Sturmpanzer Bison mounted a heavy 15cm infantry gun on a Panzer I chassis. Though comically top-heavy, it provided mobile heavy fire support early in the war. Wesp, converting the obsolete Panzer II into light artillery, was fast and mobile, capable of shooting and scooting to keep pace with panzer divisions. Hummel, Bumblebee, carried a 15cm howitzer on a hybrid Panzer III and IV chassis, delivering devastating indirect fire but limited by ammunition storage. Grill, Cricket, mounted a heavy infantry gun on the Czech 38T chassis, allowing infantry to blast through fortifications with direct fire. Sturmpanzer IV Brunbär, nicknamed Grouch or Grizzly Bear, was designed for urban combat, with a short-barreled, large-caliber gun optimized for destroying buildings and bunkers. Sturmtiger, built on the Tiger I chassis, fired a 380mm rocket-propelled depth charge, designed to demolish entire city blocks during urban uprisings. Flakpanzer IV Wirbelwind, with an open-top turret housing 420mm anti-aircraft guns, created a devastating wall of lead against aircraft and soft ground targets. Flakpanzer IV Ostwind improved on earlier designs with a hexagonal turret and a single 37mm flak cannon, engaging aircraft at longer ranges than predecessors. Flakpanzer 38T, an interim vehicle, mounted a single 20mm gun on the rear of a 38T chassis. It had very limited armor, leaving the gun crew exposed to strafing runs. Next are armored half-tracks and prime movers. SD KFC 251 Hanomag, the iconic half-track, was the battle taxi of Panzer Grenadiers. Its sloped armor and off-road capability allowed infantry to keep up with tanks and deploy safely. SD KFC 250, a smaller cousin, was a shortened half-track used for reconnaissance and command roles. Its compact size made it agile and effective as a scout vehicle. SD KFC 7 medium prime mover, an 8-ton half-track, was crucial for towing the famous 88mm flak gun and heavy howitzers with theater-style seating for the gun crew. SD KFC 9 FMA, the heavy lifter, was designed to recover damaged tanks, often requiring 2 or 3 chained together to pull a stuck Tiger tank out of mud. SD KFC 10 light prime mover was widely used to tow small anti-tank guns like the PaK-36 and PaK-38. It was nimble and produced in large numbers to mechanize lighter artillery units. SD KFC 11, the standard light artillery tractor, towed field howitzers and Nebelwerfer rocket launchers, bridging the gap between light and medium prime movers. SD KFC 2 Kettenkrad, a hybrid of a motorcycle and tracked vehicle, was designed for paratroopers but excelled in Eastern Front mud, towing light guns and navigating terrain trucks could not. Opel Multier, facing deep Russian mud, converted standard Opel Blitz trucks by replacing rear wheels with tracks, becoming a logistical lifeline when wheeled vehicles were useless. Armored reconnaissance vehicles included the SD KFC 222, a light four-wheeled scout car with angled armor and a 20mm turret gun. It was fast and agile, serving as the eyes and ears of reconnaissance battalions early in the war. SD KFC 231, an 8-wheeled heavy armored car with complex suspension, allowed rapid escape without turning, featuring 2 driver positions, front and rear. SD KFC 234 Puma, arguably the best armored car of the war, combined high speed, an enclosed turret, and a potent 50mm tank gun, able to outfight most Allied reconnaissance vehicles. SD KFC 263 radio car, based on the 8-wheel chassis, had a fixed superstructure topped with a large frame antenna, serving as a mobile communications hub coordinating panzer movements. Next are light utility staff cars and motorcycles. WWII Type 166, a bathtub-style amphibious car with a drop-down propeller, was the most mass-produced amphibious car in history, crossing rivers and bogs. Porsche 108, a heavy off-road personnel car, towed light guns and transported troops. Its robust V8 engine made it standard in early war years. Steyr 1500A, a rugged, air-cooled, heavy staff car produced in Austria, was favored by officers and commanders for reliability in hot and cold climates, especially in North Africa and Russia. Mercedes-Benz G4, a massive 6-wheeled luxury touring car, often carried high-ranking Nazi officials in propaganda films. It was more of a prestige symbol than a combat vehicle. BMW R75, a heavy motorcycle with a driven sidecar wheel, was durable for dispatch riders and reconnaissance units. Next are logistics trucks and transporters. Opel Blitz 3.6, the legendary cargo truck of the Wehrmacht, was reliable and simple, carrying everything from ammunition to troops. Kübelwagen KFC 69, known as the Boxer due to its flat-4 engine, was a 6-wheeled truck used for light anti-tank guns and motorized infantry transport. Rosenfelder Schlepper Ost, RSO, designed for Eastern Front conditions, was a fully tracked, slow-moving tractor, trading speed for the ability to drag artillery through deep mud and snow. Henschel 33, a heavy 6-wheeled truck, was sturdy and strong, hauling heavy loads and engineering equipment throughout the conflict. Einheitsdiesel, a standardized diesel truck with six-wheel drive and independent suspension, offered exceptional off-road performance for a wheeled cargo vehicle. Finally, specialized in siege vehicles included the Panzer 42, mounting a 10-barrel Nebelwerfer rocket launcher on an armored half-track. Its rocket's terrifying shriek provided mobile saturation bombardment. Karl Gerät, a monstrous self-propelled siege mortar firing a 2-ton shell, was built to crack the toughest fortresses like Sevastopol, requiring a massive crew and crane support. Goliath Tracked Mine, SD KFZ 302 of 303, a tiny remote-controlled tracked vehicle nicknamed the Beetle, carried high explosives intended to be driven under tanks or into bunkers. However, it was often disabled by cutting its control wire.